Welcome to the world of Flora. Did you know that over 300,000 known species of plants exist on Earth?
These incredible organisms come in all shapes and sizes, from the tiniest mosses to the tallest trees. Plants play a vital role in our ecosystem and have been providing us with life-sustaining resources for centuries. As we embark on this journey together, we will discover the beauty and diversity of the plant kingdom.
If you are wondering what is flora and the importance of flora to our ecosystem, please welcome our speaker Beatriz Lorenzo, a botanist expert who will share her knowledge about the world of flora.
Flora refers to a collective plant life that exists or has existed in a specific location or historical period. Well, in simple words, it represents the entire plant kingdom. Several factors can be used to classify it into various categories, such that some plants grow in water, deserts, hillsides, or other environments. Flora is vital in our ecosystem as they are the foundation for all life in an area. They produce their own food from sunlight and supply the rest of the ecosystem with energy. For humans, they provide us with necessities such as raw materials, medicines, clothing, shelter, and the daily plant-based food that both people and animals consume. Most importantly, plants directly affect the biogeochemical cycle, including the nitrogen and sulfur cycle.
Moving on to the relation of flora to biogeochemical cycles and its importance, let me introduce to you JC Talamante, a leading environmentalist expert.
What are biogeochemical cycles? Biogeochemical cycle is the movement of nutrients and other elements, biotic and abiotic factors. This process helps distribute and regulate elements in an ecosystem. Because of biogeochemical cycles, elements can be recycled and stored in physical facets such as flora and fauna. It's a well-known fact that plants and trees use carbon dioxide that we expand to make food. This phenomenon is one example that contributes to the importance of flora in biogeochemical cycles. Major biogeochemical cycle includes carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur.
Now that you have already know the definition of flora, here is Rafael Sahagun, a chemist expert who will give us information about the importance of nitrogen and sulfur cycle and also its relation to flora.
All living things, including plants, need nitrogen and sulfur. These elements are found everywhere and help plants grow and survive. The nitrogen cycle converts nitrogen gas, ammonia, and nitrates. Plants use this procedure to get nitrogen. The nitrogen cycle includes nitrogen fixation. This converts nitrogen gas into plant-usable ammonia. The sulfur cycle is like the nitrogen cycle but with sulfur. Sulfur is essential for all living organisms and is found in many different forms throughout the environment. Plants synthesize amino acids and vitamins using sulfur. Sulfur helps plants fight illness and pests. With that, flora need nitrogen and sulfur, which are cycled through the environment and made available to them through the nitrogen and sulfur cycles.
Not all people know about the harmful causes and effects occurring in the plants and the purpose of the principle of Chatelier. But here are Darren Tanay and Ryan Mediavillo, environmentalist specialists who have wealth of knowledge and experience in their field.
Now, the Chatelier principle is a principle that aids in predicting how an equilibrium chemical system will respond to changes in the environment. That there are two variables and when one variable is disrupted, there will be a change. For instance, when one environment is at steady state due to natural process, when anthropogenic happens, the natural process is being disrupted. This principle is important to determine the imbalance found in one environment, whereas this can also be used to re-establish the equilibrium. To further understand, this can relate to the harmful effects that can also be experienced by the plants due to the excessive amount of nitrogen and sulfur through human activities such as burning of fossil fuel and usage of synthetic or rich sulfur fertilizers. Imbalance for the plant species can arise. Sulfur toxicity can cause the plants to be dark in color and smaller in size due to high concentration. Meanwhile, excessive nitrogen can cause unequal competition or distribution since there are plants that prevail to take up more nitrogen than the others. Also, when nitrogen and sulfur are excess, this may lead to a water chemistry or acidification and chemical change from deposition.
Individually, nitrogen and sulfur are essential parts of growth including plants, but too much sulfur in plants can cause plant dehydration, making them dry and causing the plants death. Moreover, also too much nitrogen on plants would make the plants grow bigger and even the fruits much larger. Although it looks like a benefit, it will make the plants weaker because it cannot carry the weight of its stems. And also for its fruits, it takes much longer for the plants to bear such fruits. Furthermore, more nitrogen on plants attracts more insects that will either result to benefit the plants, especially flowers, but it could also infest it. Basically, in humans and animals, there is what you call mal de Caribou or protein poisoning, which results in the body's malnutrition of fats and carbohydrates, which is also the main energy source of the body. That's why always remember, too much of a good thing is also bad.
Did you ever heard the concept of invasive species? Here is Miguel Rubia, a human resources expert, who will share its definition and will also tell us whether humans are also considered as the invasive species.
By definition, invasive species would be any kind of organism or species non-native to a certain area and can cause harm. This may be in the form of disruption of the food web or alteration of habitats and landscapes. But can humans be considered invasive species? There have actually been studies explaining that with rapid urbanization and population growth, humans have become invasive by taking over natural habitats and transforming them into cities and other forms of settlement. Humans have also consumed the resources in these areas and competed with existing wildlife. Through industrial activity and irresponsible agriculture, humans have also become invasive in the context of nitrogen and sulfur cycles and flora.
Here are Ellie Maderazo and Janelle Malibiran, our biologist experts, who will share their knowledge about epigenetics and how this become a solution to plant invasions.
Epigenetics refers to the study of how changes in your environment and behavior can have an impact on how your genes function. While epigenetic alterations can alter how your body interprets a DNA sequence, they are reversible and do not alter your DNA sequence like genetic sequence do. Therefore, anything that affects an organism's development except DNA sequence can be referred to as epigenetic. Emerging evidence suggests that epigenetic systems can aid in environmental adaptation and evolution, notably in plants. While many invasive species that have been introduced can expand their genetic variety through repeated imports or hybridization to effectively colonize new ecosystems, others with minimal genetic diversity must endure through alternate mechanisms including epigenetic variations.
Epigenetic become a solution because it could play a role in plant invasion by contributing the phenotype variation and adaptation of invasive plant populations. This required by linking epigenetics mechanism to the characteristic of invaders, as well as their abiotic and biotic interactions. And determining how these are linked to the fitness advantages that invaders possess means that flora have the ability to rapidly adapt to different environmental conditions. Without the intervention of humans, the epigenetic memory of climatic stress may be able to make a decisive contribution to the adaptation of ecosystem to global climate change.